About 30 years ago, when I was newly ordained priest and in my first, second, third year being a priest, my father got ill, went in for tests, and it turned out he had the C word, cancer. Nothing like this had happened before, and I was getting used to being the one who went to help people, and I was the one who was the priest. I was the one who was there when other people were sick. But this was the first time for me to experience someone that close to me and my own family really getting something that threatened their very life. As we found out what it was and what it would involve, slowly but surely I got into more and more of a worried state. I can remember being at the hospital when my father went through the surgery, about 8 hours, and just really being overwhelmed, to say the least. In our family, we had all been very close together as a family, and particularly me, as I went into more of my adult years, my father and I got to be particularly close, not just as father and son, but as like friends, becoming friends. And so what I found was that, reaching out to others and talking to them about some things when I needed to, the Lord wanted to draw me in even closer, and I let myself do that as best as I could. But the main, strongest feelings of fear were so overwhelming that I needed to lean on others and be someone who gained support from them, and me not just being the one trying to give support to others. About 3 years went on there. My father had some good years. We were able to do many things together. And ultimately, though, the cancer came back in another form. And then it was a blessing that I was able to be in the same area that my mom and dad had been living, visiting and doing things together, like golfing together, as you might suspect I would do. He got to the point where he couldn't do much of anything, so we would just visit until the point that he had then passed. So with me as being the one who was the minister, I needed to be ministered to also, but I also gained a lot of strength during those years, so that then when the time came for his funeral and burial, I was able to preach and those things because we had made each other stronger and had a chance to prepare for that. But I couldn't have been feeling better about that happening because of how we continued to grow even closer together. As I was hurting because of his suffering, and he was going through what he had to go through and saying goodbye to others and myself. And then I truly realized what more of a remarkable man he was and how many lives he touched when at the visitations at the funeral home and at the Mass, so many people came by and visited. And so sometimes it is the minister himself or herself that has to let others minister to them.